Michael Bowen from PineBridge Investments. Welcome.
Hi, Drew.
For those who aren't aware, could you provide some insight into who PineBridge are and how they differentiate in Asia?
Yeah, of course. So, PineBridge, we've been in Asia since the 1960s, so over 50 years. And globally, we manage about 125 billion. In Asia, it's over 75. So there's a huge client base, which is about 60% of PineBridge's AUM out of Asia. And we started, our office was established in Hong Kong in 1988. Our Asia equity capabilities, our flagship strategy, was started in 1994. So we've got a very long track record of exposure in the market. And from our point of view, we just think Asia's in our DNA. So for us, if you are thinking about getting exposure into that region, PineBridge, we would hope to think that we're a partner that you'd like to think about using.
Michael, I understand you're soon to be launching the Asia Smaller Companies strategy in Australia.
Yeah.
Why that strategy and why now?
One of the things that I found interesting when I was talking to Elizabeth Soon, the portfolio manager, was that over nearly 90% of all listed securities in Asia ex-Japan have a market cap less than 1 billion. So there's a huge tail of opportunity that's under-researched, and essentially it's an alpha minefield from our perspective. So that's one reason. The other reason is coming out of 2020, as markets reset and reflate, small caps globally, locally, and obviously throughout Asia is obviously where we think there's going to be some significant returns, and that's proving to be the case. Third point, in the market here today, you have some very well-established brand names that are in the large cap space, but as we believe portfolios are moving towards more direct Asia exposure, getting down into that mid-cap, small-cap space is harder to find fund managers and hard to do it directly. So we think that this solution will definitely add some value to some portfolios, and that's why.
And the consumption theme in Asia and China specifically is reasonably well understood and recognised. What are the mega trends occurring outside of that consumption theme?
Yeah, so from the team's perspective, they sort of have 5 mega trends along the English vowels of A, E, I, O, and U. A stands for automisation. E is for energy and the environment. I, naturally, for investment technology, information technology, and A, E, I, O, outsourcing, and U being urbanisation. So we think those are the mega trends that we obviously need to consider outside of the standard demographics of India and consumption in China. We think there's a lot more depth to that, those trends. And then how do we, from a bottom-up stock picking perspective, find companies that have good quality management, great ideas, market-leading offerings, but connecting to some of those mega trends, which is really the golden goose for us.
And you talk a lot about acorns to oak trees. Could you describe a couple of high conviction companies that are in the smaller companies strategy?
Yeah, so in our Asia ex-Japan small cap fund, we are holding anywhere between 50 to 80 securities compared to the index, which is upwards of a couple of thousand. So for us, high conviction, our top 10 positions, the one that comes to mind is our 9th biggest position at about 2.3% of the portfolio. It's called AirTac. It's a pneumatic equipment and component company. So pneumatic being compressed air. So if you ever go into the bathroom and use the Dyson air dryer, pneumatic air equipment, I try to go to the dentist at least once a year because they're obviously putting needles and drills and suction into your mouth. That's all pneumatic air. If you've ever stepped off the bus, I don't know if you and Jamie use public transport anymore. You might have to get your private cars, but when you used to step off the bus, you would obviously have the bus would automatically rebalance to the curb. So that's all pneumatic equipment. So for us, AirTac is a security that we think is on the up and up. 23% market share in China, and the standard sort of reasons of using pneumatic air I just mentioned, but the thing that's exciting us the most is the 5G rollout. So 5G base stations, AI and robotic equipment. Robots are static pieces of machinery without pneumatic valves and systems and linear tracks. So we think with that rollout and the nationalisation of the 5G and semiconductor business, for example, pneumatic equipment is going to be a major beneficiary. And from us, I think the team bought it back in March 2016, and it's already at 5 times returns, and consensus is at 8 times. So if it keeps going, it'll be definitely a 10-bagger that we would write home about.
And you mentioned a stock that's great for parents during the presentation.
Yet another holding. We're obviously new parents, and your second's on the way. So VTEC is another holding. I believe that's 6th or 7th weight. So VTEC provides electronic equipment to the infants 0 to 3. So all those toys that you get from your friends, first-time parents, they give you a microphone that your little darling child can scream into at 8 p.m. at night. Those guys create those types of products. And obviously that's possibly a way to think about the demographic change and shift throughout Asia, but that's another stock as well.
And for those who aren't aware, could you give us a bit of background on PineBridge and how they differentiate in Asia?
Yeah, so PineBridge has been investing in Asia since the 1960s, so over 50 years. Our Hong Kong office was established in 1988, and our flagship Australian Asian equity fund was started in 1994, which is still running today. So for us, Asia's in our DNA. We have 300 people in Asia across 10 locations, including here in Australia in Melbourne. And for us, we think that the ability to have over 75 analysts in mainland China and also around the region focusing on equity valuations, but then another 25 to 30 focused on emerging market and credit and fixed income sides gives us a unique advantage to look at both sides of the balance sheet and figure out which companies we want to invest in and why we want to have them a long-term hold and become a real acorns to oak tree type of story.
And feet on the ground seems to be important in Asia.
I just think governance, ESG is a key focus. And for us, governance, that G part is obviously key. Liquidity in the region and just having people who know the management or can read the papers, go and see them face to face as opposed to flying in once a quarter or so. We really start to build that story and narrative and give us confidence as to why we like a particular company or management team or idea, and then get comfort and hold it in the portfolio and hold it for many, many years, and it's proven its worth time and time again.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Drew.